Oof. I need a haircut. It's getting too long to be up. Oh, geez, what time is it? Oh, man, I don't even have time to, like, get all these off. Ignore those. Those are from the last video I just recorded. 2019 first video of the year. If not, 2019 second video of the year. It's time for our annual update video. And for the last several months, I've had many asking me on Twitter and Discord if Gnoggin was going to still be a thing in 2019, as this time last year, I said that 2018 was probably going to be the last year of the channel really getting regular uploads, unless it picked up and became sustainable again. Basically, all of that came from 2017 being a killer. Several months of negative earnings because this channel isn't just me. I'm the host and the lead director, lead producer, or whatever. But we've got Josh, who does almost just as much as I do at this point. And then we have some editors, some more active than others, and we even have writers occasionally. Like, I pay them, even if it means at a loss. I don't actually tell them usually that I'm paying them at a loss, but sometimes I do. Because a video will just sometimes make super little. The business side of YouTube is stupid. Why can't we just make stuff for funsies? Anyway, I've said it a few times on Discord and Twitter already, but I'm ecstatic to tell you that yes, 2018 was awesome, and we're going to keep going well into 2019 and possibly beyond, so long as nothing terrible happens like in 2017 again. So, if that's the only bit of this update that you cared about, you can leave now. But I am going to share some more big news stuff, both about last year, which was easily one of the most eventful years of my life. Probably was, actually. But also, we're going to talk about what's going to happen this year. And to keep things interesting, I'm going to go ahead and show you guys some up-close shots of the background while I'm talking, if I think I'm getting kind of boring. Also, if you don't care about how my last year went, because it's mostly kind of personal stuff, I suppose, this timestamp, wherever I'm putting it, is where you want to click ahead, so you can skip all that. So 2018 started horribly. In the middle of earning barely enough to get by, I got super sick to the point I could barely work for 2 months and was hospitalized for a week. Ketoacidosis, just diagnosed with type 1 diabetes, so great. Fantastic. Now I've got a huge medical bill, and now I have monthly medical expenses because I'm getting old. Not to mention the crazy big hit to my youthful vigor and confident macho invincibility. I knew wearing this watch was a bad idea. I'm just gonna keep tapping the table. All in all, it was a major impact to my mental health too. But I recovered, so much so that I started reading books. Yeah, books! I know, right? Books about nutrition science, even. For fun. And I applied them, and almost a year later, I've lost over 100 pounds since then, and while my health condition is lifelong and has no cure, it now has little to no impact on my life anymore, and my monthly medical costs are way down, and honestly, I've never been healthier or felt better, oh my word. I've got a whole movie-length video about that right here, if you're interested in all of the health science stuff, but just note, that was probably the lowest low I've had in a really long time. But because of all the stuff that I did as a reaction to that, I've basically become the new high point. This is now a highlight in the life of the me. Not to mention that the summer boost for Gnoggin was exactly what it needed. And ever since then, the channel has actually been making a pretty decent profit to the point where it's, you know, sustainable even during the downtime months that aren't the best. I have enough saved. And a lot of that has to do with all of the help from Patreon. Oh my god. You have no idea how much Patreon helps. And recently there was some Patreon controversy, so while I am leaving up my Patreon for those who want to keep supporting me there, for those that don't want to support Patreon any longer, by the time you see this video I'll have opened up a Drip account, which is just a Patreon competitor. Link down below. And again, you have no idea how much it helps. Though of course direct donations help even more. Anyway though, money stuff. This channel got profitable enough that we're going to keep going, and we got some upgrades even. You may have noticed the boost in video quality recently, and that's all thanks to the new camera. Oh my word, I love it. The autofocus really sucks, even with the fixes that the camera community was all talking about. But we record in a studio, so manual focus is fine. And speaking of the studio, it's also all new as of last summer. and I love it. This brings up another high point of last year. My wife and I bought a house, so that's awesome.
Oh, you can barely afford your channel, but you bought a house?
Well, hear me out. Oregon is having a really stupid rental crisis right now. Our apartment's lease was running out, and they were raising the price to where it actually made more budgetary sense for us to buy a house rather than keep renting. Stupid how that works, but whatever. We made the hopefully smart decision and became homeowners. Homeowners. Taxes are gonna be fun this year. And one more thing happened in 2018. The PokeTuber plunge. Mostly. That may be the whole reason why the channel finally started doing well regularly. We narrowed what we cover even more, to the point where now Gnoggin is basically a Pokemon channel that sometimes happens to cover other things, rather than being a Nintendo theory crafting channel. You know? And I'm super sorry to all of those of you who aren't actually fans of Pokemon, but that's what it's going to be in 2019 too. The way the YouTube algorithm works, the more focused a channel is, the better it does. That's just the way it all happens now. And while I am a little saddened by that fact, I also don't really mind because, well, let me just say, I'm glad it's Pokemon and not Mario or something. Pokemon has so much more interesting lore and designs to explore, and so much more potential for theory crafting, and so much more media to dive into and review. Oh god, could you imagine us becoming another indie horror channel? By the way, if you're into that kind of stuff, check out our good friends over at Treesicle. Basically, what happened to Gnoggin and Pokemon happened with those guys and indie horror games. YouTube's just always squeezing you. However, that's not to say we're only doing Pokemon. I mean, the first video of the year was about Smash. We've got another Splatoon video in the works right now, a Halo video of all things, even a Metroid video, and another Smash one, and you know, hopefully you'll watch them. Because if not, then maybe 2020 will be Pokemon exclusive. Speaking of Pokemon, the big series last year was the not blank type video, or every blank type Pokemon explained. And we've only got a few of them left: Grass, Normal, Dragon, and Fairy, probably in that order. And I just want to let you know that if you like that series a lot, we're starting another very similar one soon. So be on the lookout for every blank type move explained, and or how blank type moves work. It's basically the same thing, but covering what the Pokemon moves do individually, and their origins and science when applicable. Not all moves need that much explaining. I mean, Fire Punch is a punch, but it uses its power of fire to apply fire to the punch, you know. But sometimes there's interesting things to be said. We're also going to start some Pokemon reviews this year, comedic reviews. Think of the, like, Kid Icarus genre. And they won't feature, but they will have Maxel in them. Why don't you come on the show more, Maxel?
Because every time I'm featured heavily in a video, you have a net loss of subscribers. People hate me.
Well, that's good. That was sort of the point. Down the line, I would like to have eventually reviewed and made fun of every Pokemon game, especially the spin-offs. So I hope you have fun with those. And one more big thing for this year. This time last year, I teased a new channel, Azoth University, stating it would come out in March 2018. But that was when I got really, really sick for months and all that. So I couldn't work. Gnoggin ran out of its backlog, so we just focused on rebuilding the backlog again instead. And now I can say we're finally launching it, I think. I think we finally figured out the style. We have like 4 months of videos written for it, and like a third of that recorded, and a third of that edited already. So it's just about ready to go. So if you like this channel for the Lockstin aspect of it, that's me, and my whole presentation style, then be sure to check that channel out, because it's basically Gnoggin, but without the video games. I mean, a lot of our videos are already just kind of lessons on science, but with a video game shoehorned in for clicks. It's that, but without the video games shoehorned in for clicks. Let's see, thinking of similar big-time channels, I think Thoughty2, but with videos posted a bit more frequently, or think about the Today I Found Out channel, but with a shred of personality. And looking ahead, it's going to start off broad, kind of like Gnoggin did, but I have a feeling that just like with Gnoggin, it's probably going to wind up narrowing down into some specific fields of science or history or whatever sometime down the road, years down the road. Hopefully it'll be human physiology and health, because I stinking love those topics, and we're gonna have a bunch of them. Man, imagine learning some super important and beneficial to your own life information, but it's presented by some stupid head that uses way too many jump cut zooms. That's the tone of the channel. Get some learn into your skull. So all in all, 2019 is looking bright. Though I do want to say that January through March, maybe even January through April, is still probably going to be pretty rough. So if there's ever a time to financially support not just this channel, but any channel that you are super into that puts much more effort than the average YouTuber into their work, then now is the time to do so. At the same time, however, because of how little videos make during this particular part of the year, we're saving all of our really big stuff for summer, which means summer is going to be stinking amazing, but it also means there's going to be no real big videos for the next few months. So, as per usual, there's still going to be a bunch of very fun, but technically filler, but fun nonetheless, filler videos. Things that you'll probably find a lot more entertaining, but won't necessarily have the same value, I suppose. By which I mean, instead of us spending 10 hours editing a really nice video, we'll spend 2 hours editing a kind of good video. Like, it's the difference between good and great, you know? At least that's the goal. That's what I hope. Everyone posts bad videos sometimes. Also, during the whole Jan-March downtime, we'll be working more on Azoth videos, as they won't even be monetized anyway for the first long while, so now's the time. I hope you like them. I love you all, and I think that's just about everything big. So, 2019, let's get this bread. By which I mean bread made from cheese. It's just so much tastier and better for you. My God. Hope to see you around, and until next time, please remember to never stop using your noggin, and never stop improving.